of the things I found really interesting with episode 7, this whole time Baylan has been mentoring Shin. She has a Padawan braid. It seems like he's obviously, in my opinion, was her actual biological father, and she was born after the Clone Wars, after Order 66. And I always thought this time, he's extremely protective of her, loves his daughter very much, or who, this Padawan, which oftentimes are pretty much the same. And so he would do anything to protect her, especially when it comes to sending her out to Ahsoka, Ezra, and Sabine without him, knowing damn well she cannot survive against Ahsoka. So, what is the reason for this? Either he just truly doesn't care about her, which I do not believe. So what's the other option? That there is the lesser of two evils here in this situation. Well, what could the greater evil be? Something that wants to possess him and his body, that is calling out to him that he knows is his destiny and only he can hear. And I believe if he were to go with Shin, then he would potentially be putting her in danger of a life that she does not want to lead. And I feel like it's because of his love for her that he actually ended up abandoning her and saying, look, at least you'll have an option here, and maybe they'll take pity on you. Maybe they will not kill you, because he knows the Jedi. He knows that they are not ruthless killers like perhaps he has turned out to be, or like the Sith. And so he feels like she'll have a much better chance of survival here in this scenario than if she were to go with him. Where I think he's going into a cave or some sort of temple or somewhere on the planet, maybe into the ground itself. There's some sort of a opening, a gateway that will either lead him into a different realm, maybe Mortis, or lead him to somewhere beneath the depths of the planet, or some very mysterious place, full of obviously something that the witches themselves are afraid of. And if the great mothers are afraid of whatever is there, that's not good. Obviously, whatever it is probably pretty scary, and maybe is, we've been talking about the embodiment of the dark side. Yeah, sure, the sun reaching out to him, but what if it's death itself? What if it's Abeloth, right? I've seen that theory floating around. What if it is something completely terrifying that would take Baylan's essence or take over his body so that it can roam the world, roam the earth, roam the galaxy? That to me would be something that would make sense for Baylan to separate from her, because he knows that he has to go on this journey, but he believes that if he takes her with him, then she's just going to die. Or, she'll see what will happen to her father or to her master or whatever it might be. So who is reaching out to him? I don't know. I mean, look, Palpatine still at this point is around. Obviously, he's still there. So maybe he's reaching out to Baylan, and he's looking for a vessel at this point. So it's a loose theory I have. I'd like to cover it in another video for a couple minutes and see what you guys think on its own. But essentially, look, I mean, yeah, it could be, if they want to go that route, it could be Palpatine. I really hope they do not. Bringing Palpatine back in episode 9, while it was fun and cool because we didn't have any direction or anything to cling on to after episode 8, it really wasn't what I wish would have happened from all along. I wish we got like a Tor Valum sort of creature, like what Colin Trevorrow had written for the original script for episode 9, which was a 10,000-year-old like ancient Force user that was a little more to the dark side, I believe, than anything else in his original script. So, I think that would have been much more compelling and interesting than somehow Palpatine returned. How? I don't know, Sith magic. Well, maybe there's our answer. Maybe that's why we're learning about the Night Sisters and this and that. So we'll see what happens. But I think, Baylan letting go of Shin was really weird. And I had to do a little bit of soul searching, a little bit of theorizing and thinking to myself, what's the actual reason? What could be worse? Is he really just doesn't care about her? Or like, what is he trying to save her from? So that's my thoughts on that. But I'd love to know what you guys think too. Do you think he actually doesn't give a crap about Shin anymore and just sent her off to her death? Or he is saving her from something else? I guess we'll see. I hope, Baylan's my favorite character. I hope we get to see a lot more from him in episode 8 in the finale, because sure, I care about the main characters, but not nearly as much as I do Baylan. I think he's really cool, and I want to learn more about him and hear more about his story. So maybe in Tales of the Jedi Season 2, we can get a Baylan, backstory or something like that. Few episodes, it would be sweet. Thanks for watching today's video or episode on Star Wars Theory Podcast on Spotify and iTunes. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Until then, remember, the Force will be with you always.